All right, welcome. All right, guys. Hi, everyone. Thank you for anybody that could join us live today. And hello to everybody that's going to be watching this recording a little bit later. So we're excited to have you here. We're excited to do this event. So my name is Lisa Seifert. I am the Director of Recruitment here at Central Penn. And I am joined with some of my friends and colleagues today. So I want to take a minute to introduce them to you. So first on my screen is Amy Rowcliffe. If she wants to say hi, she's one of our high school outreach coordinators. So you may have seen her in your high school or doing a virtual presentation this year, but hopefully you'll see her live next year. And then we also have Carol Glass, who is our Associate Director of Admissions at the Lancaster Center.
Hi, so glad you could be with us today.
And then I have Sean Strangeway, who is our transfer coordinator. He will be talking with you today as well. And then I also have Kelly Fox, who is our financial planning coordinator. So she does all the money, guys. And then there is, last but not least, Jaime Ramos, who is going to be our MC today. And he will be taking over here in a second. So just so you know, while you're here today, if you have questions, please utilize the chat feature and we'll get to those at the end after hearing everybody talk, and we'll get all your questions answered. If you are joining us via recording later and you have questions, there will be contact information that you can get to be able to reach out to any of us to ask questions as well. So we're so happy that you joined us this morning, and I'm actually going to turn this over to Jaime to get the presentation started.
Sounds great. Thank you, Lisa. I am excited to tell you guys all about Central Penn. So Central Penn College is located in Somerdale, Pennsylvania, and we're about 10 minutes from Harrisburg. Our mission statement, as you see right here, is to open opportunities for students from a variety of academic backgrounds, as well as provide the education needed for employment and advancement in their fields. We'll go on to this next slide, and you'll see there are numerous reasons as to why people love Central Penn. One of the biggest reasons is because we earn our degrees quicker here. We have 4 11-week terms with 2-week breaks in between. So if your goal is to get right to work, get that degree, and get started with that career, we're an amazing college for that. We have a great student to faculty ratio of 15:1. So the professors will know who you are, you will know the professors, which makes the educational experience much more rewarding. We have online and in-person classes, so the best of both worlds. Whether you're with us in Somerdale or whether you're in Lancaster, we have both of those for you. Professionalism is one of our hallmarks here. It's something that we really, really strive for. And that is our goal as an institution as a whole. We want to really make sure you're prepared for the real world. So that is something we will always make sure we can help you out with. Housing scholarships, Kelly will take that away. Kelly will be speaking to you later as well. So I will let Kelly talk about that. And then transfer credit evaluations, Sean will talk about that. Depending on how many credits you have, you can even graduate quicker, depending on where that's at. Sports and activities, if you're a sport person or intramurals, those are something that we offer as well, a part of the USCAA Division II Conference. And an important thing to know with Central Penn is that you are never alone. You will have the academic, emotional, and institutional support that you need through our tutoring learning center, counselors, success coaches, and faculty advisors. Next thing we would love to talk about is our accreditations and approvals. Through the Middle States Commission on Higher Education, we have numerous accreditation and approvals, which are essentially kind of educational stamps to let you know that we are accredited with legal studies and paralegal, medical assistant, occupational therapy assistant, and physical therapy assistant. This is something that's very important to have along the road when you decide to apply for those jobs, because it lets the people that are hiring you know that you received an amazing quality education. And we have those in all of these departments, as well as all of our other departments. Touching on the accelerated terms a little bit more, this is again kind of what it could look like, depending on the transfer credits that you're bringing in, as well as already what our accelerated terms already offer. 11-week terms through the fall, winter, spring, and summer. And then in between each of those, you get a 2-week break. If you're thinking about a certificate program, you could earn it in as little as 9 months. An associate's degree in as little as 15 months, plus the internship. Bachelor's degree in just 3 years plus the internship, and if you're super ambitious, our master's degree in just 1.5 years. As we go on to our next slide, Would love to show you physically where we are. Again, Somerdale, which is across the river from Harrisburg, and then Lancaster. So with you guys being Thaddeus Stevens, of course, right down the road. So we do have two very convenient locations, which is something really important to think about down the road. In addition to our locations, touching base on the student services, this is my favorite part about Central Penn because it's important to know that you have the academic support you need to thrive. We offer academic advising through our student success coaches, so you will have the advisors you need to make sure you're taking the classes you need to take and you're graduating on time. Phenomenal counseling center who will talk to you about anything and everything whenever you want to talk to somebody. A great learning center with a professional math tutor as well as tutors across the campus who can help you with anything you need when it comes to classes. A great Office of Equity and Multicultural Affairs if you ever want to visit them, as well as a new first-year experience director in Janet Bachelor who helps our students with the first-year experience in transitioning emotionally, academically, and all that good stuff. And we also have a great activities and athletics presence on campus. Casey Hicks, who is our athletic director, is our person that's involved with all of our USCAA Division II athletes, as well as she does a lot with intramurals. So definitely figure out a way to get involved if you decide to join our campus. We are a smaller campus community of around 1,000 students, so everybody does know everybody, but everybody's really involved, which make it so much more fun to be in our campus community at Central Penn. And then campus housing. This is always exciting to talk about, the idea of physically where you're going to live. We are offering a new housing scholarship, which is exciting. That initiative we will talk about a little bit later, as well as just the idea of kind of how the housing is structured. You will have your own room in a suite with around 6 to 7 people. So that's really exciting. So if you're somebody who likes your own physical space, then we're a great place for that. We also offer 24/7 security, make you feel safe. Of course, free and convenient parking, and then scholarships. Scholarships is something that's really big with us here. So you hear that throughout the piece. But yes, campus housing is important. And then one of the last things I would love to talk about is our graduate success rate. Colleges, of course, will always talk about the students that they can get to get jobs. They might have like a 98, 99% success rate of students who get jobs. But something that we like to focus on a little bit more is the students that work in the fields that they studied. So if we have a student that worked in criminal justice, our goal and our hope is that they work in the criminal justice field. If we have a student that worked in PTA or OTA, that they become PTA or OTAs. And that is the success rate that we judge off of, the number that we use, the 90.6% that you see on the screen. They were employed in their chosen field of study or are continuing to receive an education within 1 year of graduation. One way that we do that is through our phenomenal career services department. This is the department that works with our students to do mock interviews, career fairs. They also do online internships and job postings, as well as they have a nice career closet where you get free professional clothing. And who doesn't like free stuff, of course? And last but not least, they'll be there with you from day one. And even after you graduate, their services are offered after the fact. So that in a nutshell is a lot of what we can offer physically at Central Penn. And now I will let Sean Strangeway take it away to talk about how our transfer credits work.
Thank you, Jaime. All right, so transfer credits. So Central Penn College provides opportunities for students to transfer into their ideal program of study. In order to transfer any credit into Central Penn College, you would need a C or higher on that course for undergraduate transferability. And then if you would down the road be interested in transferring into our master's program, that course would have to have received a grade of B or higher. The total number of credits that you can transfer into Central Penn is 75 credits. However, we do have block transfers, which makes that transferability of credit a lot easier. So as you can see here, through our partnership with Thaddeus Stevens, we have block transfers agreements from the Associates in Computer and Network Systems option 1 and 2, both transferring into our bachelor's degree in information technology, and the associate's degree in business administration transferring into our bachelor's degree in business administration. And for the block transfers for those programs, for the associate in computer and network systems, for both option 1 and 2, you would have a guaranteed block transfer of 63 credits, which would leave you a 57 credit load that would need to be completed in order to receive that bachelor's degree. However, if you do have credit outside of those programs, we would still evaluate on an individual basis. So you may be able to receive more than those 63 credits, but that would be on an individual basis past what you received for that program. As you can see, for the associate degree in business administration from Thaddeus Stevens, you would receive 60 guaranteed credits from that program when you would transfer into our bachelor's degree in business administration. That would leave you with a credit load of 60 credits that you would need to complete in order to graduate with the bachelor's degree in business administration. Again, just like with the IT program here, you could have more than 60 credits transferred in, but after those 60 credits of guaranteed block transfers, it would be on an individual basis. Now I'm going to turn it over to Carol Glass, who's going to give you an overview of the programs that we offer here at Central Penn.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. That's some very exciting information for our Thaddeus Stevens students. I am the admissions counselor here at Central Penn College in Lancaster. I do also recruit in other areas. So I'd like to tell my students, even if you know 100% what you might like to do, it's good to know what else we do. And the reason is you might have a friend, a cousin, an aunt, a sister, somebody that is thinking about school but isn't quite sure what they want to do. Well, in addition to our business and IT programs, we also have certificates, which is really great for someone that's re-entering the workforce, reigniting their skills. And we have certificates in entrepreneurship and small business, human resource management, marketing management, medical assisting diploma, which is housed here at the Lancaster Center, medical billing and coding, organizational change, optometric technician, and a phlebotomy technician. We also have a personal training non-credit certificate, which has been a popular area for people to look into. Now, I understand that a Thaddeus graduate has their associates, but again, there might be an opportunity for someone you know, or maybe you have it in one area and now you'd like to have an associate's in something else. So we have accounting, communications, computer information systems, criminal justice, entrepreneurship, marketing, paralegal, medical assisting, OTA, which is occupational therapy assistant, as well as physical therapist assistant. Now, when I enroll Thaddeus Stevens students, which I have done many in the years that I've been here, they are predominantly for the business administration and the IT, because that's what you're coming from Thaddeus with, right? So I will help navigate that for you as far as your transfer evaluation and all that comes with that. But again, we do have bachelor's programs in other areas like accounting, corporate communication, criminal justice administration, health science, healthcare management, homeland security, and legal studies. Something that Central Penn has implemented recently and is super exciting is the intersections and minors. And these are for students in bachelor's degree programs. So oftentimes you're taking a program and you have some interest in something else, right? And you want to be able to incorporate that. You don't want to take something that has absolutely nothing to do with what you're most interested in, right? So we have intersections that fit into community and multiculturalism, health and wellness, popular culture, and society. And these have been very popular with my students because, like I said, you can take those interests you have and fine tune them. We also have minors, and those options vary based upon your major selection. And again, the good news is that I will help you through all that decision making in the admissions process. Then, as we grow in our education, there are times when we might want to go that next step, right? And that next step is our master's degree program. So we have the organizational leadership master's as well as athletic training. So Central Penn College and Slippery Rock University have an innovative 3+2 agreement that enables the health sciences students at Central Penn to earn their Master of Science in Athletic Training and at Slippery Rock University in 5 years instead of 6, which is super cool. And we do something similar with that with Widener University for the law school. Again, if this is something that you know someone that might be interested in, or maybe this is something you want to eventually work towards a master's program, I can help you with that as well. Okay, so you might be thinking, yeah, how am I going to do this? Well, the good news is the first step is a free application and you can apply. All right, then you're on my radar, right? And I can call you and we can set up an appointment and you can come in for, I am conducting in-person interviews. If you're not quite ready for that, we can do a virtual, but we do have very good COVID protocol in place. But that application is definitely your first step. And you can do that on our website, which is www.centralpenn.edu/apply. It's a basic application, informational. Then, like I said, once I get it, I will reach out to you. We'll set that appointment up, which I think is wonderful. You'll get a tour. You get to know Central Penn. I get to know you. And then I can also tell you how the program is delivered, what you can expect from your instructors, things like that, what your support system's like here. And then I will help you with the process. You have an essay, as well as your high school and college transcripts would be necessary. And then you're accepted and we do an orientation and you start school. Thank you for listening to me. And I am going to hand this over to my colleague, Kelly Fox, who is our financial planning coordinator. Take it away, Kelly.
Thank you. So I'd like to touch base on what financial aid consists of. So when you complete the FAFSA form, we're checking your eligibility for the federal and state grants, as well as federal student loans. So we'll check for the federal Pell Grant, federal SDOG grant, and if you're a Pennsylvania resident, the state FIA grant. And then if you should decide that you do want loans, we will check your eligibility for the direct Stafford loan. If you're a dependent student, we will check for your parents' eligibility on a federal Parent Plus loan. So the most important form you will complete throughout the financial aid process is the FAFSA, and it is the free application for federal student aid. And you will do this each year you're in school so we can check your eligibility based off the previous year's taxes. And if you are planning to use student loans at Central Penn and you have not used them before, we would have you complete both the entrance counseling and master promissory note. So what is the FAFSA form? The FAFSA, which you may have filed previously at your other school, determines your financial need and allows the schools then to process any grants that you may be eligible for. The IRS has allowed the FAFSA to pull everything over directly from their website, so you don't even need your actual taxes to answer all of the questions on the FAFSA form. You may already have an FSA ID since you may have done a FAFSA previously. If you ever forget your password or you need help resetting it, the FSA ID website is a great place and a great resource for you. So what goes on the FAFSA form? If you are a dependent student, it's your financial information and your parents'. If you're an independent student, it would be your information, or if you're married, your spouse's. And we get a lot of questions about what makes someone independent. You need to be at least 24 or a veteran or enrolled in a graduate or professional program like a master's degree, or married, or considered a ward of the court or an orphan, or prove that you have legal dependents that you support more than 50%. If you don't meet any of that criteria, then we would need parent information on the FAFSA form. We get a lot of questions about which parent does go on the FAFSA. So if your parents are separated and you live with mom, it would be mom's information on the FAFSA. And if mom would happen to be remarried, we would also need her spouse's. So the FAFSA is looking for the household information to go on the FAFSA form. So deadlines. We want to make sure that you're meeting all of the deadlines, and many of you may have already filed your FAFSA form, and you would only need to add Central Penn to that so that we can start to process your financial aid. So when you log into the FAFSA, you would simply type in Central Penn, or you can list our school code, which is 004890. Once we get access to that FAFSA form, we can then work on a financial aid package for you here at Central Penn. The grant eligibility. If you qualify for a federal Pell Grant, your expected family contribution when you submit the FAFSA form would need to be somewhere between 0 and 5712. If it falls in that range, you would be considered for a federal Pell Grant somewhere between $639 and $6,345 for the year. Then we have federal SEOG grants that you could qualify for if you're federally Pell Grant eligible that vary between $225 and $1,500 a year. And then if you are a Pennsylvania resident, you could qualify for a state FIA grant. We will need your transcripts from your previous school to make sure that you've made academic progress there so that we can then award it here for you. Scholarships. As Jaime said, scholarships are a very important part of any financial aid package. So if you are a Thaddeus Stevens graduate, you would automatically receive our Graduate Student Award, which is $500, as well as our Transfer Scholarship, which is $1,500, without even having to apply or submit any essays. We do have essay-driven scholarships on our website, Success Scholarship and Eliminating Boundaries. And then if you happen to work for any of our corporate community partners, we also offer scholarships if you use the employer reimbursement through your employer. I do like to review the loan process. For those of you that have used loans previously, you'll know that typically when you receive your award letter, you'll see subsidized and unsubsidized student loans. If you're borrowing funds, the subsidized loans is where the government will pay the interest for you while you're enrolled. And if you received unsubsidized student loans, then you as the student are responsible for the interest while you're in school. You can pay it quarterly. If you're unable to do that, then the interest will just capitalize on the loan. As a freshman dependent student, you'd be eligible for $5,500 in student loans as a dependent student and $9,500 as an independent. And as you progress through your degree, you will gain more and more eligibility in federal student loan funding. For those of you that are a dependent student, we do offer direct Parent Plus loans that your parents can borrow in their name to assist with any remaining balances that you may have at Central Penn. So the government does a credit check. If the parent qualifies based off the credit check, then the parent can borrow funds to cover your remaining balance. If they don't qualify, we can then increase a student's loan so that they would get the independent student amount of federal loan funding. Textbooks. Textbooks are a very important part of making you successful at Central Penn. We estimate that they're about $350 to $450 a term. Typically, they are not charged on your tuition bill unless you are in some of our business classes. Then you would see a course materials fee on your tuition bill, and you would have access to those books through Blackboard. But for those books that you do need to purchase, we do want students to be prepared to purchase them out of pocket. You can, on our online website, purchase them about a month before classes begin, but we also provide the ISBN number so you can take the information on our bookstore and then shop around for them. As Jaime mentioned, we are offering a housing scholarship to students. If you, at our Summerdale location, if you are taking 6 credits or 9 credits a term, you can qualify for half of the scholarship. So you would receive half of the funding of the cost of housing. So instead of having to pay the entire $1,452 every single term, you'd only have to pay half of that. If you are taking full-time credits, meaning you would take 12 credits a term, you could qualify for the entire cost of your housing to be covered, the $1,452. Every student, though, is responsible for their utilities, which is $330 a term, and then a meal plan. And we have a variety of meal plans from $484 up to $1,500 a term. It is eligible, you would be considered eligible for up to 2 years. So most of your education, you could live on campus for either completely free, depending on if you're a full-time student, or if you're a part-time student, we would cover half of that for you. This is my contact information. If you have any questions concerning the financial aid process or information that is required to go on the FAFSA form, I'd be glad to help you either through email or feel free to reach out via phone. And then here's all Carol's information if you have any questions on the application process or need help applying online.
Right. Thank you, Kelly, and thank you to all of our presenters today. That was a lot of great information. On that last slide there, the QR code, that actually will take you right to our virtual inquiry card. So if you're interested in more information, you can just take a quick picture of that. And then there's also the apply button. So, and then Carol will reach out to you and get you started in that whole process, step by step. So we're always here for you. Thanks, Derek.